So today I'm going to share with you the mystery of thought, its purpose, and its limitations. Let's first discuss how thought is created. Our fundamental experience of perceptual reality is the entanglement of sensations, sense perceptions, other sensations, images, feelings, and finally thought. So thought is the interpretation of experience. Once again, thought is the interpretation of experience. As I mentioned, raw experience is just sensations. Whether they're sense perceptions or they're images, they're still sensations on the screen of consciousness. And thought is also a subtle sensation on the screen of consciousness, but it is the interpretation of perceptual activity. And actually, perceptual activity is a result of giving meaning to raw experience, to sensations. As soon as we give meaning to a raw experience, sensation, it becomes an object. So this is as an object of an iPhone, but as modalities of experience, it is sensations, all kinds of sensations, okay? All kinds of sensations. As a modality of experience, it is sensations, but then as a construction of perception, it is iPhone, given meaning to sensations by humans. So in other words, perception is a learned phenomenon, and every perception is filtered through the conditioned mind, through meaning. But meaning in turn is what you believe in, what you hold to be true. So every perception is filtered through belief, meaning, and it's given a name, and then it becomes a form out there. But actually, it's an experience in consciousness that goes along with the experience that we call the body. Okay, the body and this are created simultaneously through interpretation of sensations. What is the purpose of thought? Well, human thought created the human universe, everything from stars, galaxies, and Empire State Building, to latitude, to longitude, to Greenwich Mean Time, to nation states, to empires, to colonialism, to money, to Wall Street. All this is the product of thought. Thought created the human experience of the human universe. That is amazing, right? That the interpretation of a sensation is responsible, or a bunch of sensations is responsible for what we call human civilization. I doubt we can actually call it civilization, because civilization means to be civil, and thought did create that culture and civilization and everything else, art and music and science. But thought also created war and terrorism and diabolical creativity and nuclear bombs and everything, biological warfare, now internet warfare, cyber bullying, cyber hacking, cyber terrorism, all product of thought. Thought, therefore, has the ability to construct an experience that can be diabolical, but also divine. This is the purpose of thought, to create our experience of both our body as a body, which is actually a concept, because body is another perceptual activity which is changing constantly from the moment of the fertilized egg to all the way through a zygote, embryo, toddler, baby, teenager, all the way to dusty death. This is an immense human achievement, the ability to create heaven and hell. What are the limitations of thought? Just bear with me for a moment. Since thought is the interpretation of sensations, and we only have a very narrow band of activity that gives us access to sensation, human narrow band of perceptual activity. We normally don't have access to a perceptual activity that uses infrared or ultraviolet or the echo of ultrasound or many other modalities of experience that humans don't have, but other species have. In other words, thought is very limited in what it interprets because perception is limited. Secondly, perception is a magical lie. I've mentioned this many times. Perception doesn't give us access to truth. I've mentioned these examples before. Perception tells us the earth is flat. No one believes that. Perception tells us that the ground is stationary, spinning at dizzying speeds and hurtling through space at thousands of miles an hour. Perception tells us that we are all solid, but actually we are proportionately as void as intergalactic space. Our technology is proof of that. All our technologies today are based on the fact that the essential nature of the material world or the physical world is that it's not physical. What we call physicality or matter is a concept. The reification, the word reify means to make something concrete that is abstract. So everything you perceive is not really the truth. So all perception is magical lies. Therefore, all thought is the interpretation of magical lies. Even though we can actually use thought to expand our awareness of the collective dreamscape as fictional characters. So what is the disadvantage of thought or the limitation of thought? It hides the truth. Hides the truth. Last time I said this on a post somewhere, somebody said nonsense, and they're perfectly correct. Nonsense, because truth is beyond our senses. If you want to know the truth, then you have to transcend the senses. And when you transcend the senses, then the experience is that of infinity, formless, irreducible, fundamental, without cause, spaceless, timeless, inconceivable, unimaginable, and nothing that can be perceived, and yet the truth. Infinite possibilities, infinite correlation, infinite self-regulation, infinite evolution as the universe that we experience. But even the universe that we experience is a dreamscape. It's consciousness modifying itself into a species-specific experience in the form of limited sensations, images, and feelings. So thought hides the truth and yet makes experience possible. Think about that.